Alright, so welcome back to another PFA playoff battle as we're up against Connor or Prince Alexander. And I just realized that this transformation is pretty bad right now, so I gotta reset it. So let me see if I'll do this live or whatever. So let's do it like this. Alright, so it's like better than it was. So anyways, we're up against Connor or Prince Xander, and pretty much it's a pretty interesting game if you ask me. Um, because just based off the team that we were like prepping for, and the one I showed you case in the team builder, it's almost the same except for like one key Pokemon, and that's Empoleon. I actually thought he would bring Empoleon for like instead of like Escavalier, but everything's just the same. Torrent-T, Manetric, Koopa, Garchomp, Scolipede. Other threats I prepared for was also the Golisopod and Empoleon, of course, and there's obviously other mods. I don't think we were gonna bring like Gelmize and I believe Lilligant as well. So just here's a quick rundown of my team. We have priority Lopunny, I guess you say, with Mega plus Quick Attack. Zapdos with Defog, defensive. Nidoking with Life Orb this time around. Defensive Life Orb, if you ask me. Romatis with Wish, Wish protects it. Only difference is that we have Psychic. Kyurem, well, it's a very defensive slash mixed bulk Kyurem and Mew as well, so with the pivot option. So right off the bat, right now I'm just like thinking to myself, okay, who am I want to lead here? Because he could do whatever the hell he wants with almost like all these offensive options, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of I won't say afraid in a way, because like Chomp, Scully, Hoopa are already threatening, and then Escavalier is just annoying as hell. So I figured the best lead I have right now is Zapdos. I also debate heavily Mew and Nidoqueen, but of course I just decided, you know what? I'd rather just get my Zapdos in right now. So he goes to Emerald or the Tornadus-T, as I am going to go my Zapdos. So far for that. So he leads with his Torn, and I'm like, oh wow, this is a good lead for me. So right off the again, I don't want to say that again over and over, but so right now we have a Zapdos versus Torn, so flying types essentially out the field. So I'm debating just going for a Hidden Power Ice straight off the bat, or I'm not debating that at all. Like, just because getting any chip on Manetric or Hoopa is pretty good. Of course, Hoopa is going to take this the best, and also maybe Escavalier, but Escavalier doesn't want to stay on Zapdos because I might have Heat Wave. So here I just go. I'm just gonna go and use Hidden Power Ice as he goes to Garchomp, as he reveals the Yachi, but we're able to chip this thing down and do like about a third of HP. But the thing is, with Yachi, this inclines to me that this isn't as bulky of a chomp. So, yeah. And I'm like, I could just spam another Hidden Power Ice and just possibly another Noko. So, and since this is his likely only letter rocker, we just put him in a really, really weird situation. So, whether he wants to set up rocks or just attack me straight out. He doesn't have a Z move, so he can't kill me with Rocky and Z Stone Edge, so that's really good. But he can with Scolipede, so here he just goes for the rocks, and I'm just gonna go for the Hidden Power Ice, and yeah, I just get off a huge threat out of the way. And I'm glad that I could outrightly trade rocks for a Garchomp, so as I could just defog these things anytime I want, so later in the match. So here he goes to Manetric, and I'm like, okay, so he finally goes into his electric type. So here I actually switched into Nidoqueen here, and thinking about it now, it kind of I think this was kind of an off play on my end, even because I think I could have just stayed in with Zapdos, and I honestly thought he was just gonna stay in on Mega, just because he could always switch in and out with the you know But then again, like I think he wanted to get the bulk on this guy, as you see. Not on the bulk, but the intimidate ability because it might be helpful against Lopunny. So he's gonna go for the hidden power rise. So like I said, I should have probably stayed in with Zapdos, take a little bit chip, or just get rid of Defog. You know, I just did not want to get like. I think the main reason why I did this was because I didn't want to get poisoned. And getting poisoned on my Nidoking or my Zapdos would have been pretty annoying, but not the end of the world. But getting chip damage on Nidoking is pretty much gonna suck. But at the same time, I figured that I think honestly, thinking back at it, like I could have just maybe defogged there, and then maybe get a Nidoking at a different time to get up rocks. But I think during this time I thought, I want to get up rocks right now, because if I don't, then I'm not gonna be able to chip down Scully. I'm not gonna be able to chip down Hoopa and whatnot. So here he's just gonna go into Hoopa straight out, and I'm just gonna go for my rocks. So I make another very obvious play there, but it kind of loses me momentum. But at the same time, I'm like, it's whatever. So yeah. So here I'm just gonna go to my dedicated switch in slash not switch in because whatever. And he goes for the trick room here. And I'm like, alright, so we know that this thing has trick room, so this thing may or may not have us maybe special, maybe physical, or whatever. So, but either way, Aromatisse is here for this reason, because none of my mons could outspeed or underspeed some of these guys. So, though I do gotta watch out for his Cavalier switching in, so still, I'm just gonna go for the Moonblast, and I do about half. And I get a special attack drop, which is huge because we're able to eat this Psychic. And yeah, we just basically just hampered a Hoopa sweep because of a Moonblast drop or whatever. So now what we're able to do is I'm just gonna go pick another Moonblast, and it does a little chip to this Cavalier, and he doesn't have any leftover, so he might be Berry, he might be. I don't think he's AV because of the damage he did, so I'm thinking this may be Sword Stance, so yeah. Here I'm just gonna go for the Protect as he goes for the Iron Head, so I want to get as much leftovers recover as possible because, of course, I want to have a healthy Aromatisse, so. And also stalling out Trick Room as well. Here I go to Zapdos as he goes for Iron Head, and yeah, and Trick Room expires, so. Now, I'm pretty much in a commanding spot if you ask me, because like most of his team is already chipped down and I have rocks up on the field, so in due time I could just start, attacking with Kyurem and Lopunny. So and also Mew could be really good in the end game if as a backup, Pivot or Wall or whatever. So yeah. So here I'm just gonna go for a Discharge just to get chip on this thing. As he goes for the knockoff and removes my berry. It's a smart play on this end because as you'll see, this Hoopa comes in and I just go for Roost here. And now, but the thing about this is he pretty much made a very good play there because getting in Hoopa was probably his best chance right then and there, because this is probably the only other time he could have set up a secondary or a second Trick Room. Because now I pretty much have to chip this thing down. And yeah, I don't want to remove my rocks just yet because those things are gonna help chip down the rest of his team, while doing 12.5% or 1/8, or like a quarter to Scully, Torn. So it's very important for my Kyurem offensive calcs as well as Lopunny, chipping the rest of his team down. So, but here we're in a very interesting spot because. Hoopa could actually just pressure one of my Pokemon, or obviously any Mon I switch into. And I actually debated this turn pretty intensely because I thought maybe I could go to Mew, just take the Psychic, but I didn't want to lose it as well because I didn't think Zapdos was gonna get another time to recover off any damage or defog these rocks anyway. So I figured I'm just gonna stay in. And yeah, I'm just gonna go for Discharge and just do almost a quarter. Well, not quarter, but well, yeah, it's kind of 24, but yeah. But at this point, I don't get a paralysis. He goes for Psychic, and I honestly am very confused about that. because maybe he could just want to set up a trick room there. But then again, I can see where like he wanted to do, try to get the kill and Zapdos, but he does get the Spadef drop, and this just puts me in a very bad spot because now I'm pretty much forced to sack Zapdos here, and I think I do 26 this time as he goes for the Psychic. I think he doesn't want to deal with of that's the first time that I've ever skipped over play, so yeah, my Zapdos just dies because, I think it was gonna get two-shotted either way, so yeah, Spadef drop didn't matter as much, so here I'm gonna go to Lopunny, as you saw. I'm gonna go quick fake out. The reason why I do that is just because, Hoopa's dead at this point. Like, at this point he knows Hoopa's gonna die, he could just use this as a sack. But if he goes to any other Pokemon, that would be very unwise of him. Like, Escavalier, Torn, or even Manetric, like, I'll get, like, really good chip on this thing, so, of course he's gonna let this thing go down, so it's still somewhat even, but, but now, as you can see, we just lost our biggest, I guess you could say the biggest, check to, the, possible Tornadus, and, yeah, like, this thing, like, probably our best counter to Tornadus is Zapdos, and now we're very wide open against it because Kyurem could take some hits and dodge some stuff as well, maybe with pressure stalling with pressure. So, but at the same time, if he has like Life Orb, but Modest or whatever, because he could do that with my speed tiers, he could just break through my team right now. So, but of course I got to get some chip on this thing. So with the rocks up, he's gonna be at 75. But yeah, so at this point, I'm like, yeah, I have to sack one of my Pokemon, and I'm gonna go into Aromatisse and just take this Hurricane. And I know I'm gonna die to it, so I was probably gonna two-shot it, whatever. So yeah, here I go for the Protect because maybe this might be a roll, and yeah, I just go for this just in case I live. I'm just stalling out, and whatnot. So, and yeah, he goes for a second Hurricane and he misses, and this is very unfortunate for him because I'm able to get off a Wish, and at this point, this could be a roll as well. So, I could just do whatever I want here. So he goes hard into Manetric as I just go for the Protect, but it fails because there was nothing to protect against. So. But now I have a very healthy Aromatisse again, so I guess the miss does matter because I just have a fully healthy Aromatisse that can heal up any of my mons, and not only that, Tornadus is just ready. It's just, oh, well, Tornadus is just, I already know a lot of information about it. It has U-turn, Hurricane, probably Heat Wave because it's Scizor, and then like, also the damage kind of implies to me that he's kind of bulky Torn. But I don't know whether on the special side or on the physical side. Likely physical, take hits from Lopunny. So, here he goes for the Thunderbolt, and I'm able to eat that up. And yeah, I'm just gonna go into Kyurem here, and I think this is a kind of a reckless play in my opinion, because I could have just went into Nidokings, but Hidden Power Ice could just get the two-shot on me as well. So yeah, but. He's going to go for the full switch, and he's going to go to Escavalier. And that's still not enough. Like, if based off the calcs, I'm like, yeah, this thing's Spadef. And I'm like, that's still not enough to kill, like, with Earth Power. So, here I'm actually forced to go into Mew. And, just go for, like, hope that he goes for, like, a physical contact move. And he goes for Iron Head, and yeah. I go for the Foul Play. And I kind of reveal my secret tech option there. I guess you could call it that. Just smacking Ilfie, the Escavalier, and yeah, we just get rid of a huge threat. So, and he goes to Manetric, and yeah, like Manetric can't really deal with Mew too much, but I can't deal with Manetric as well. So, but at the same time, Kyurem, like at this point in the game, I think Kyurem can possibly win it. And also Lopunny, but I just gotta position them very correctly. So it's gonna come down to how well I preserve this Mew because I could out pivot it with Manetric and any of these guys with Mew. So here I'm just gonna go for Roost, and he does 35%, and I'm like, yeah, I'm eating this up. He's gonna go for a Volt Switch here and goes into Scolipede as I honestly thought about going for the burn because that could have just really much been really helpful, just neutering this scatter killer. So yeah, and this thing is now in, and I'm like, well, damn. The good thing is that we have, like I said in my team builder, like he has to have like very good coverage versus me. Like he needs to have like he can't have everything. He can't have sword stance. He can't have protect. He can't have rock slide, poison jab, mega horn, earthquake. He needs to like forego something. Otherwise, like Lopunny, any of my mods could just go in against him. So I have like enough resources, but of course I can't um overexpend against this thing. So yeah, here I just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go for my foul play, as he does reveal the Mega Horn, and it does 17 because Rocky Helmet, and yeah, I'm able to chip this thing really really hard to where quick attack from Lopunny just kills Scolipede. So and Scolipede's just dead now. So and he goes for the Earthquake, and yeah, probably had that for the Nidokings. So and at this point, I go into Lopunny and I just click Fake Out. You just get another kill, and at this point, it's just his Volturn Killer, Torn, and Manetric versus my own team. But it could come down to some shenanigans and whatnot. So here I decide to sack my Aromatisse finally, and yeah, and I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna let Aromatisse die here, and I didn't want to like lose Aromatisse at all. So at this point, I knew Kyurem could win me the game. So as long as I get rid of like this Tornadus, but it turns out he actually misses Heat Wave, and this is very unfortunate because Torn could have just got rid of Aromatisse. Like I think he could have gotten rid of Aromatisse like 2 or 3 times now, and yeah, I do admit this one mattered a lot because like this pretty much ensures that like he is gonna get chip damage and he gets like the split F drop. So at this point he has like no chance to like kill with the Kira against Kyurem. So well, I think either way, I think Kyurem was gonna win me this game based off where I positioned it. So it would have came down to one, whether he get the confusion hits, and two, whether I get like I'm hitting myself with confusion. But if he misses Hurricane at any point, I know Kyurem's just gonna go in. So yeah, he goes for a U-turn, and at this point he goes into Manetric, but of course he's gotten chipped down too much to where like it's gonna die to Ice Beam. So yeah, and at this point Torn just comes in with 51 HP, and I could always go for Fake Out Lopunny. It might be Barry, but but given the stage of this game, like Lopunny with Fake Out plus Return just kills. So he needs to get like Hurricane Confusions to win this game. So and he goes for the Focus Blast. We eat that pretty well, and that actually indicates to me that he's like Fizz Death or something, or because that just did little. Because like or Fizz Death or something similar, because that just did little damage. So with our bulk, but anyways, that was game. So GG's to Connor or Nor. So or I think whatever Fire Emblem. I think that's a Fire Emblem reference. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that series as much. So but anyways, GG's to Connor, and we make it to the semifinals, the finals now in PFA for like the 5th time. So, or yeah, I think 5th time. So, yeah, like this game, I guess you could say was very pivotal. I think you should say it. It just showcased how strong Kyurem was, just both from a defensive and like from an offensive side. Like if you just invest the bulk, Kyurem could just live these hits, especially because these guys are also like players are also going to be like bulking out their own mons, and Kyurem can also has already naturally high bulk and HP. So yeah, I think what was huge early on was getting rid of Chomp, because Chomp, getting rid of it like as early as turn one was just like meant that we weren't going to get chunked down by Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Stone Edge, and Lopunny didn't have to deal with that thing. So with Rocky Helmet, so possibly, or Rock Skin. So I do note that like the hacks against Torn and also Kyurem are not Torn, yeah, Torn and the Hoopa, what are with my Roman, yeah, Romanti's just, yeah, completely hacks the shit out of him if you ask me. So like getting like, first of all, the psychic, well, not the psychic, but the Moonblast job was really critical. It just prevented Hoopa from just sweeping me. But then again, I don't. That probably was a role to two-shot him. So I think he made a respectable play to call switch out. So, but then the other thing that, but he could have gotten extra damage aromaties with that. If it was just a regular psychic, he probably would have got rid of it. So, and then the hurricane misses and the heat wave miss. Like, yeah, there were like three times where Aromatisse could have died and they just didn't. And I just kept like chipping down his team and whatnot. So, if anything, I kind of played badly with Zapdos because I could have just saved it, but at the same time, like Hoopa was in a bit. I was in that situation with Hoopa where like I couldn't switch out. So, um, and yeah, I had to just keep going for discharges, and maybe I get a paralysis. But then again, at that point, I just like, yeah, I'm just a lucky bastard in that sense. Um, so yeah, well, like luck finally rains upon us, I guess. And I think I think our quarterfinals game was kind of like was kind of clean, and this one was kind of like there were some things here and there that kind of threw my opponent off. But I think getting rid of Chomp, being able to pressure the Manetric and Kyurem, or the Torn, was really huge for the end game. Um, so I think there were some moments where it just ruined his momentum. So, and that's one thing. I know this is not like a snide at all. That's one thing I just don't like running mons like Kyurem, or not Kyurem, but like Torn, because I know it's like it has U-turn and it has like knockoff and whatnot, but I just don't think it's like a good Pokemon when you're like gonna have to rely on running Hurricane. I know like I ran Moltres in like, DGBA or whatever, but like that's why I just don't like running Pokemon like that, because they could automatically just as much lose momentum for you back if you lose a Hurricane, if you miss Hurricane and whatnot. So it's a high risk, high reward, I guess. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know. Torn was good for most of the game, like because Zapdos was gone, but like it wasn't able to break my team because, come on, it only did like what, 50 or 46 to like Kyurem. So yeah, um, I still think he like counterplayed very well, because the last game it was like a 6-0 and this one was much more closer. So, and I think this was just a better competitive game than the last one, where like I just made some really hard reads like with Kyurem, and that just got me the 6-0, and then also the freeze at the end of that game ensured it. But I think at that point I've won the game. Just I had to play around with Scolipede carefully, so yeah. But yeah, we played very well. So except for like the RNG there, like kind of saved our ass. So I don't think it saved us. I think we would have had like Kyurem and Nidoking just be able to chip his team down, and I think I would have probably played Zapdos a little more conservatively. Same with Mew. So yeah. But anyways, good games to Connor. As we move on to finals of PFA. So yeah, I think the finals game is going to be very interesting, if you ask me. As I think this is our, it's kind of funny, this is our like 8th or 9 consecutive finals that we, every time we make a playoffs. That's our 8th or 9th consecutive finals or whatever. So every time we play in playoffs since I think the start of 2008 and 18. So yeah, that's pretty good on our end. Hopefully we add another championship and make it like 9 this time, I guess you could say. So anyways, I have you guys. I'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you guys soon. So see ya.